Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, a Nevada legend, Danny Thompson, principal of Thompson Alliance Group, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Hear ye! All hail the $75,000 Cash is King giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Rule the kingdom with cash giveaways every Thursday and Saturday. And live royally with up to $10,000 in winnings every week. Eat, play, win. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're absolutely delighted to welcome back to the program, after a ridiculously long absence, Danny Thompson, who is the principal with Thompson Alliance Group, but former head of the AFL-CIO here in Nevada. It's great to see you, my friend.
Great to see you, Sam. Great to be back in Reno. I love it. I miss it.
For those that may not be aware, because it's been quite a few years since you've been on the show, just a very brief history.
So I started in Nevada politics in 1979. That was the first time I went to the legislature. In 1979, I decided to run, and Blackie Evans, who you remember,
right,
and Jack Jeffrey were my mentors. And I was a young steel worker, and I ran and won, served there for 10 years. When I lost in 1990, Blackie called me again and said, "Hey, I need a political director, and you fit the bar." And they'd never had one, but I've been running my campaign for 10 years, so I went to work for them. I worked there until 1999 as the political director and chief lobbyist. And then when Blackie retired, I took over, and I maintained the lobbyist position. And so in 2017, I retired, and I opened my own company, Thompson Alliance Group, and I've been lobbying ever since. So I've been at the Nevada legislature now for 46 consecutive years, and
It's an incredible history. On another show, we should go into some of the stories you can tell us about the legends of the Nevada legislature, because it's a whole different world today than it was back then because of term limits. And frankly, and I'm sure you do, I miss the old days.
Well, I was in the legislature when you could smoke in the building and women weren't allowed to wear pants.
Yes. So we can go to those roads later. All right, let's talk about this. I always like to point out I've been involved with Story County since 2005, and in various ways. And you've been working on their behalf for quite a few years now as well. What do you make of this whole discussion on data centers that is nationwide and has become this? It's not about the issues in terms of the actual issues of data centers, it's become this huge political issue.
Yeah, no, exactly.
How did that happen?
You know, I'm not sure exactly how it happened. I know that, generally nationwide, people don't like data centers. I don't think they exactly know why they don't like data centers because, hey, your phone doesn't work without a data center. Your bank can't operate without a data center. Most businesses can't operate these days without a data center, and they're only going to become more reliant on them. And the whole argument that they don't create any jobs simply isn't true. I mean, the reality is, and if you look at Story County, when Lance Gilman started, I think Lance brought in Google and Switch with 3,000 acres. Donnie Gilman now, with the Gilman Real Estate Company, brought in Track with 11,000 acres. A million square foot of a data center is $1 billion investment. And that's $1 billion worth of jobs. And so they create a lot of jobs. And then, it's not just the jobs to build them, it's the jobs to maintain them. I mean, for instance, up here, IBW Local 401, in all of those data centers, that equipment wears out. It only lasts 3 to 5 years, right? And so they have to go in and change that stuff out. And so there's a constant renovation there of this equipment. And so all the other jobs that are ancillary to that, people don't think about. And so really, I think if the public really understood how important they are, they'd have a different attitude. But there have been those that have loud voices in the environmental community, talk about noise, and I don't get the noise argument. The use of power and water. Water has been mitigated in most of these places. Southern Nevada, as you know, we are in dire position for water. I mean, I've been involved with Southern Nevada Water Authority since its inception, when it was created at the legislature, and I know that it's an amazing story that they only get 300,000 acre feet out of the Colorado River each year. That's our allocation. And we use less water each year, and we recycle every drop of it. And so, they've limited swimming pools to 600 square feet. They've outlawed evaporative cooling. They've outlawed grass in new construction. And so they've done so many things to conserve that, including data centers who can't use evaporative cooling. And so that's not an issue. I really don't know why it has become such a big thing, but it has.
And I'm going to say up front, this is a rumor, but it wouldn't shock me if this rumor were true. But again, I'm saying it as a rumor that the Chinese government is competing so heavily with the United States in terms of AI that they are sending a lot of disinformation to people in the United States, and that's part of what's triggering this. And in a way, if that's true, and as I say, it is a rumor, that would make sense to me because whoever wins the AI wars is really going to control the world.
100%. I totally would believe that, and I wouldn't doubt that for a minute because, like you said, whoever wins this race is going to control the world. And I think we're in a position now, as you can see, where these AI companies now are changing the pricing structure because, somebody looking for a good casserole recipe is competing for the same time with somebody who's coding and building an app for the same price, right? And so these coupon prices are going to change, and that's going to change the usage a lot. But I wouldn't doubt that in the very least, that interference by other governments in our elections have been clear and proven, and I'm sure that that's the case with this too, because this really is the technology revolution. This outpaces any revolution, the Industrial Revolution, or the invention of the wheel. I mean, that's the level of this.
Absolutely, and what's interesting is that up until the last couple of years, we didn't hear any noise or complaints about these things. You saw Switch. I remember when Lance Gilman first came on the program talking about Switch coming up to northern Nevada. And he said he had been down to visit their plant in southern Nevada, one of their plants. And he said, they keep the secrets of the world in there. He said, you know, all these, and I don't want to name names here, but all these government agencies that have 3 letters to their names are all utilizing these data centers. And the security there is unbelievable. The particular building he was in Southern Nevada had 3 roofs, he said, because they wanted to protect that if an aircraft crashed in to the building, that it would have to go through 3 roofs to be able to get to any of the equipment, which was almost impossible. Everybody is using data centers. If you're on any app on your phone or your PC, Facebook, whatever it might be, Twitter, you're using a data center. I mean, nothing can work without this. And if we were to lose that or lose the lead in that, it would be so destructive to our economy.
Makes no sense. And you know, the idea of a moratorium in my book, you know, and I've been in politics in this state longer than most people or have been alive. Moratoriums don't work. They make no sense. You're shooting yourself in the foot, and in this case, you're shooting yourself in the head. By example, that 3,000 acres that Lance brought in, Switch and Google, Donnie Gilman brought in Track at 11,000 acres. I mean, you know, 4 times, almost 4 times as much. He has another 3,000 acres in Mason Valley with water that's suitable, that he's got on the market for data centers. And so if you look at all those jobs, because like you said, I mean, if you go to the bank, you're using a data center. You go to the grocery store, you're using a data center. You go to DMV, you're using a data center. Everything you do today involves a data center. And so having a moratorium on them just is not a good idea. And quite honestly, it doesn't make any political sense to me.
Well, here's the problem, which is there's a public outcry. And when the public starts yelling in one voice, then politicians take note. You know, I've got to look at Kathleen Taylor, who's running for mayor of Reno, as being extremely brave of being the only one on the city council to vote against the moratorium, because she realizes that this would be devastating. You know, some of this stuff is just crazy because people don't understand the facts. And I think part of it is, you know, we've seen an essential collapse of most of the news media in this state. Yeah. And so you're not able to get the full story on these things. But, you know, the biggest complaints that are coming out, which are unfounded because nobody's rebutting them, which is power. Okay, so now these data companies are understanding that they have to build their own power. They can't do this putting it on the grid through NV Energy. Some is going to happen through there, but they realize that the public is not going to pay for the cost of these data centers. Water, you already addressed gray water, you know, which is one of the things that's going on. The other thing too is that we've got electricity, we've got power, we've got water. The noise, I don't even understand that. There's been a data center operating at Keystone in Reno that nobody even knew was there. If there had been a noise issue, why would they not have complained and shut it down a long time ago? One of the county commissioners, Clay Mitchell, was on the program a couple of weeks ago talking about standing on the hill above Switch and not being able to hear anything. I mean, I've toured Switch. You don't go in there and there's a noise problem. It's just a server.
Well, I can tell you that the jobs issue is critical. And, you know, because if you look at these jobs that are created, Track's recent construction out there has created 2,000 construction jobs in Reno. That's huge.
2,000.
2,000.
Good paying jobs.
Good paying jobs with benefits that the state is not paying their health insurance and the state isn't giving them, you know, food stamps. I mean, these people are able to live and buy new trucks and buy homes and, you know, pay taxes in the community. And, you know, when you think of jobs in these places, it's not just about the number of people who are working. If you're running, you know, back when I was with the AFL-CIO, I mean, I was intimately involved with all those trust funds from a distance, but they would all, whenever there were problems. And you all remember 2008, the crash of the construction industry, it was devastating.
Well, they left the state.
They all left the state.
Literally left the state.
Literally left the state. But the problem that created there were two problems. One, the apprenticeship programs collapsed. And so when you go to restart that, you just don't restart it because they don't exist anymore because they went somewhere else to finish out their term. The second thing that it causes is, if you're running a trust fund and I'm paying you a retirement, I have to maintain a certain amount of hours to ensure that you get your monthly pension check. And so, those jobs not only support the community, but they support the pensioners too. And so having a moratorium or being against these things that create jobs makes no political sense to me. And I would tell you that, speaking of individual races, there was an assembly race in Las Vegas that the Southern Nevada Building Trades, and it was over the film tax credit. Howard Watts was the number 2 senior person in the legislature, the chairman of the Growth and Infrastructure Committee, and they defeated him because he voted against jobs. And they ran a member against him, and he just conceded yesterday his defeat. And it's the old Samuel Gompers thing, reward your friends and punish your enemies. And so they made that a very public thing that they did for an obvious reason, right? And it was over jobs. And so being against these data centers, you're actually hurting more than just the people who don't get the jobs. You're hurting the people who are relying on their pension checks.
Well, and a third rail to this is that pretty much every city and county in the state of Nevada over the next few years is going to be hurting financially. And not only is there a huge amount of money that would go along with these data centers in terms of the construction, but you're also looking at, as you were mentioning earlier, the replacement cost. Now you're looking at sales tax. It's in the millions and millions of dollars, and this could rescue these cities and counties.
So history is the best example here. In 2015, I don't remember what year it was, I represented the city of North Las Vegas in an effort to change the law to allow them to use an enterprise fund to supplement the general fund so they could meet their ending fund balance, right? You have to maintain a 16% ending fund balance in Nevada. Otherwise, the state takes control,
right,
like they did in White Pine County. City of North Las Vegas was absolutely bankrupt. We had to change the law to allow them to use the sewer fund to pay the bills, which is against the law. And it did. It allowed them to do that. And then along came Apex. And Apex in and of itself is much like the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center.
Except with 30 owners instead of 1.
Instead of 1, yeah. There's a lot of owners out there, exactly. But, Switch went out there and bought like 160 acres already. And now the Water Authority has extended a lateral into Apex so that you can have water there. Now that is extremely, extremely valuable land. And it's out of the valley, much like the industrial park here, where there's 35,000 people working there every day and nobody lives there. And that's a blessing because then you don't have that encroachment by the community on the business, and the business can operate like a business should. And that's what can happen there because it's in the next valley over.
And the whole issue with water is you have to have the water rights to be able to build these projects. You can't go into a county or a city and say, okay, I want to build this. Well, where's your water? Oh, I don't have any. That's not going to happen. No. I mean, you have to come in with your water rights. And what Reno and Sparks has been doing for decades is converting agricultural water rights into water rights that can be used for industrial and commercial as well as residential. So this whole thing is kind of crazy. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back more with Danny Thompson. By the way, a Nevada legend. We'll be right back after this.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes and on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Danny Thompson. He's a principal with Thompson Alliance Group. He's been a lobbyist in Nevada for decades and a former head of the AFL-CIO. So where do we go next? I mean, doesn't it have to be a marketing campaign? If there's a marketing campaign against these data centers nationwide based on lack of knowledge, doesn't there need to be a huge marketing campaign from the industry on the other side pointing out all the benefits?
In fact, that's exactly what we're working on right now, because if you listen to one side of any argument, you only know half the story. And so some of the things that you and I have talked about today, people haven't even thought of. People don't even think of some pensioner not getting his paycheck because you didn't build a data center, but it could happen. And so, and in 2008, it really did happen where, the unions actually went to Congress and said, hey, you got to bail out these trust funds because these people aren't going to get paid. And so fortunately, it all turned around and everything worked out. But that's where we're at today. And data centers are not going away. They're not going to become a thing of the past. And so the other side needs to speak up, and we're working on that right now.
Well, one of the things that people don't understand when they talk about these tax breaks that companies get, the reason that they get these breaks is that every state is competing for the business, and other countries are competing for the business. So if you're not in the game of looking at what potentially you can do to help these companies, they're going to go somewhere else.
100%.
We have a perfect scenario in Nevada for data centers.
Yes.
We've got the climate, the earthquake properties, because we don't get them to the level that would be of a concern. Power rates are good. I mean, we have everything they could want. The head of Tract was on this program. He's going to come back on in a couple of weeks. But he was on the program about 6 months ago. He said that the Tract project is worth, in the end, $100 billion. Yes. Let me repeat that, $100 billion.
And do you know how many people will go to work with $100 billion? Everybody in Reno will go to work, that's for sure. And they won't go to work for 10 minutes, they'll go to work for a lifetime. And because it'll take a lifetime to build that out, literally.
Right, yes.
And so, and then as you build that out, the other aging ones that have been built out are going to require to be, updated and changed. And so it's going to be an ongoing thing.
Oh yeah, to say the least. Let's take another quick break. We'll be right back. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
2025 is bringing big changes for Nevada businesses. If you have more than 5 employees and have been operating for 3 years or more, you must now comply with new state retirement plan mandates. The Vegas Chamber 401k plan makes it easy, offering a proven, customizable, and cost-effective plan for employers and employees to save with tax advantages. Visit vegaschamber.com to explore options and see how the Vegas Chamber can help you start saving for your future.
Stack up the wins during Carson Valley Inn's Summer Toys and Big Cash giveaways. Cash drops every Thursday and Saturday with over 450 winners. Plus, win a new side-by-side or $12,000 in cash at each event. Free wheels, free play, and bigger thrills. Only at Carson Valley Inn.
At Nevada Urban Indians in Reno, your health is our priority. Our medical clinic welcomes everyone. We accept all insurances, ensuring quality care is within reach. Nevada Urban Indians, your partners in health.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Danny Thompson. He's the principal of Thompson Alliance Group. It seems like we just have to have an ongoing public relations campaign on the other side of this issue so people understand that literally everything they do, from their telephone to their PC, their whole life is wrapped around data centers. And we'd rather have them here in Nevada making money for our state and creating jobs than going somewhere else.
That's exactly right. That needs to be done, and we're going to do that.
And that's where we have to leave it. Come back soon.
I will.
All
I
right.
will.
Danny Thompson, we'll be right back.
We're the Peters family, 2 combat veterans, our daughter Elle, and our Liberty Dogs puppy in training, Cooper.
Cooper will grow up to be a life-changing companion to a veteran with visible or invisible challenges.
We're helping Cooper build focus and confidence so he's ready to support his veteran.
And we know he will help bring happiness and independence to his veteran's life.
So join us, become a puppy raiser, and change lives, one puppy at a time.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Nevada Newsmakers is available as a podcast. It's also available on YouTube anytime you want to watch or listen. Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers.